Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater.
Can
I'm
hear
pretty
you.
sure they can hear because it
It's
was
not the right cord.
it was working already.
You gotta go get the. I don't think they can hear. It's in the bedroom, hooked up for the charger. Kind of hard to work without a mic.
Oh my goodness. Audio and video are good, so they
Oh.
can hear
Okay,
us.
cool.
It's just not
You didn't say anything bad, right?
the nice mic. Unprepared. I thought we were gonna redeem ourselves after the last one. How?
All right, testing. Let's make sure that. Okay.
I don't think. Yeah, it is. All right.
All right, just make sure it's working again, because sometimes it switches.
Sorry. Once again, unprepared. Very long day. I don't know why we do this on Mondays, but it is Shelby's currently only day off, so it's like makes the most sense. All right, we're back, everybody. Alex is not here at the moment. He is out getting some Wendy's, and he will be joining us in a little bit. But till then, let's say hello.
Hello, welcome in Capri Sparks and Frank. Looks like Jamie's enjoying the family. Hello, Killer Kitty. I'm not sure.
What's up, Master Eduardo?
I'm
How's it
reading.
going, Jeff Kane? Nano the Aquarium guy. What's up, Screamin' Fly Productions? What's up, Chris Aquazone? Or
See, you can do this by yourself. Welcome in, Brandon. All right, so video is good. Hello, Jimmy P and Vibes.
it's cracking vibes.
Hello, Bob. Welcome in. And Sage. We're on time. Hello, even Matt is on time. What's up?
All right. Well, we're gonna do our best to stay
And
on top
Chris.
of chat until Alex gets here.
And there's
But
no way.
Alex said goodbye last night, and we ended up talking in the front for like an hour and a half before he even got in the car and left. And he's like, "All right, man, we could talk probably forever. I wish I lived closer, but that's just the way it is." He's got so much to film. He still hasn't even seen an entire room of our house yet. Like, the dude's been here for 3 days. How has he not seen everything, you know? But he is allergic to dogs, and we have been locking the dogs up for him in that room. So,
Hello, Cordo Dolan Works. Close enough. How long until you start repping Alex Blue Dream Malala shrimp? I've never seen blue ones.
all right. So, I know he's got some like lightly colored blue Malalas, but I don't think they're blue dreams. I'm not sure if those took a hit or not. I'll have to bring that up. You could remind us when Alex is with us tonight.
Bob said, "Did you bring home all the mosquito larvae and dragonfly nymphs from you collecting?"
No, actually, I didn't see any mosquito larvae
Which is
in
weird.
any of the nettings. They probably do a lot of spraying, or the fish are just eating them. There's just so many gambusia. There was a ton of dragonfly nymphs here and there. I did not want any of those, so no, we left those ones behind.
Matt said, "Them tigers are not bulletproof."
Oh. Well, I don't know
You
what
need
you
some-
did then, Matt, because they should have been fine. You're the only one that's coming at me. So they're not mat-proof. I think they're still bulletproof.
We got to get the ones outside, and then they should be mat-proof.
Yeah.
We're caught up in chat. So what are you going to talk about?
Well, I guess since Alex is going to join us and take your spot, why don't you talk about what you've been up to this week, or collecting, or Anything you want to talk about?
That's all I did was collecting. Did I do anything else?
What was your favorite fish you caught yesterday?
I don't even know what it was. Oh, the swamp darter. Is that
You didn't catch a swamp darter. You
The little
got
one?
one of the
Oh,
Elosoma,
the Elosomas.
which is
Yep.
a pygmy sunfish. She got a nice little female.
Oh man, Matt murdered them all and the isopods. The isopods are a tough one. Those things can survive a nuke.
I don't know what you did then, because there's obviously something wrong in the water.
Did you just put them in straight ammonia?
If you have neocardinas living, or maybe something's wrong with that tank.
Welcome in, MTS. And Killer Kitty said, Matt, you weren't supposed to actually shoot them. Bob said, did you guys say I could do Neos and Tigers together? Will they still reproduce when mixed?
Yeah, Bob, you should be fine with them. We have 3 tanks of tiger shrimp breeding in our tap water here. All we use is our tap water straight out of the hose, dose a little bit of prime to take out the chlorine, and a little sponge filter in the tank with inert substrate, and they're doing just fine.
Welcome in, Sky Dancer. And then Brandon said, isopods survived after my tank crashed. Yeah, those things are hard to kill.
That's why there's got to be. And the other thing I'm wondering is, Matt, how hot was the tank? So the only thing that I've ever seen cause issues for the tiger shrimp is heat.
So Coro said, I lost my isopods, I think, but it's more that I haven't seen any since the second day I added them to the tank. Could just be hiding. Yes, they do hide.
We've gone through phases where we thought the entire tank was just completely tapped out, that I wasn't going to be able to sell any for a very long time. And then the next day, it seems like a massive herd is just sun tanning on the side of the wall. And I'm like, where were all of you guys when I was trying to catch for the order? So...
Welcome in, Kyle from Poseidon's Pets.
What's up, man?
Hello, Benjamin Peters. Every time I say Peter, I think of a Family Guy. Peter. MTS asked, have you ever had an issue with shrimp eating your corridor whiskers?
No, that's a weird one. I've never heard of that. Maybe your fish was sick or something like that, but
yeah, unless it has an infection, it's not doing well. Also, they could lose their whiskers if there's something like rocks or something in the tank, or even wood can damage those and they can lose them. Matt said high 60s, low 70s.
And are you able to keep neocardinas in that? Is it like that one tank might have an issue? How long has the tank been running? We'll figure this one out together, Matt.
Screaming Fly said, what can you tell me about Florida freshwater clams?
So I don't know if they're native or not, but they're usually really, really tiny and they love sand. But I don't think any of our ponds outside are enough flow or anything like that. We've tried to bring them home a couple times, those and the freshwater mussels, and they just never really do well in our ponds outside. So I haven't tried them inside though.
Welcome in, Mexicali Fish Keeper and Dee Dee's Fish Den. How you guys doing? And Fishman Christmas. Fish Fam Christmas. I'll say it right. Third time's the charm. Welcome in. Oh, man. So gravel, rocks, wood, cores are scavengers and can hurt themselves on substrate and decor. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. I've been a mess today. Everywhere I went, I did not look this good. These cameras are just wonderful sometimes.
Well, also, that's why the mic isn't working, is she preps until the last second. So
Oh, no, I just start getting ready at the last second. Matt said, driving, I will email later. We will figure that out and we'll send more. could be the hardscape. Yes. Corys do the weirdest. I don't know if you ever watched them for a long period of time, but they just shovel nose into everything, and I swear they hurt themselves more than anything. Do y'all sell scuds? I can't find any on your website.
No, but if you buy the guppy grass, you'll probably get some scuds with it. If you absolutely had to have some scuds, you can email us at granteater@gmail.com. Place an order through the website that's over like $10, and I'll throw in some free scuds. It won't be a lot though. There's a lot of fish in the ponds right now, so scuds are kind of thin and far and few between.
I'll have to check on that. Welcome in Jeffrey Brown and Eduardo. I think. Did you say hi to Eduardo?
I said hi to
Oh,
Eduardo.
okay.
Gotcha.
Double back.
What's up, Robert? It's nice to see you at the meeting.
Brandon said, "Hey Grant, will Pintos come from Cheetah Cross Steels?"
I have some that are looking rather Pinto-ish, but it's going to take some selective breeding. For sure, they produce some tie bees, and then from there, you can definitely take the fishbone pattern that comes from them. So it is 100% doable. I would like to see some double pigments come from my red cheetah crosses. So far, there's nothing, just the black.
Welcome in Z's World, and Golad Farms has scuds if we don't. And they said, sounds good. Thanks for being flexible. All right. Welcome in, George. What else were you talking about? Look at that. We're keeping up. This is crazy.
So yesterday we took Alex with the family. We went to a local park. And it has a large lake in the back. It's a lake that I've been going to as a kid. Usually we go there with rod and reel. We have gone there one time with a net just to the boat ramp. Did we? With the net? Is this our first time dip netting there?
The net with us, but we weren't able to catch anything at the time we went. We went when it was kind of cold.
And I also think there's somebody there fishing, and it might have spooked most of the fish. There is a lot of gambusia, so you kind of really got to go into the thicket to catch some of the cooler stuff. After that, we went to another park that has another lake, and that one we were a lot more successful. I think we caught a lot more cooler stuff. Not quite sure if it was because it was a little bit later at night or what, but Cruise Lake Park, we got some crappie, bluegill, lots of least killifish, lots and lots of gambusia. First scoop, we got a bluefin killies. I think we did get a couple sunfish. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, and then when we went to the boat ramp, that's where we got the darters. We got some mollies. We got some.
Alex caught a bass.
Oh, and that was at Hunter's Lake though.
Oh yeah. Can't keep up with you. Did you say the Florida Flagfish?
So I think we caught all of those at Hunter's Lake. So when we went to Hunter's Lake, we ended up catching a bunch of top fin minnow killies, a bunch of. I think we got 6 or 7 flagfish. We ended up catching some more elasoma there. I'm not sure if we caught any elasoma at the boat ramp or not. I think two or three of the fish were quite elasoma-ish or like smaller sunfish.
If you're saying the I caught those at the boat ramp. If that's what you told me that I caught with the little polka
boat
dots.
ramp though? There's two. We went to 2 boat ramps. Cruise Lake or Hunter's Lake?
Hunter's Lake.
Yeah. I think I caught one though at the boat ramp at Cruise Lake though. We have like 3 females.
I didn't catch anything there.
The only male we caught was with Alex at the very first day that I took him collecting when Shelby was at work Saturday. And then we got just the largemouth, smallmouth bass at Hunter's Lake. So
didn't get any gators though.
No, I didn't even see the gator. You guys saw the gator.
I saw it twice. I saw a gator. So
I ended up finding a spot where every single time I went and hit with the net, I was catching a top fin minnow. So I was quite happy with that spot. And I also got 2 or 3 of the flagfish killies from there as well.
Oh, those are beautiful.
So Alex wanted me to set up a tank for him so he could take some of the fish, get photographs, get video and stuff like that for his collecting trip videos. So we went ahead and set up a 55-gallon tank. We bought a bunch of booths. It's something that we'll be carrying on the website in the near future. If we don't use it all for the aquascape, we'll probably like just grow it out, use it for the aquascape, and then start selling it on the website. But all of the fish are in the 55 gallons. So all 7 of the flagfish, all the least fin killies, blue fin killies, top fin killies, all the sunfish. We even got some of the smaller ones, and then the swamp darters as well. So Alex has been taking some film. I personally wanted some flagfish. I would like to breed them. And then I would also like to keep them outside. They should do fairly well throughout the winter time. And I think they're a good combatant against the algae that we have in the top pond. It just gets so much sun. It is a little bit higher. It's out of the ground, so the temperature isn't as controlled. So I would like to throw those a nice little colony in there. But I'm going to get the polar blue cichlids out first.
Brandon said, would it be better to introduce pintos into the cross?
Yeah, for sure. If you want something, the best way to do it is throw it in there right into the mix. It should be like easy. If you wanted like some pinto males, I could hook you up with some pinto male onlys, and you just throw them right in there. And like off of the first or second cross, you should get a fair amount of pintos.
Welcome in, Jeffrey Watts. And Dee Dee said all the yellow neos came in great. They colored up real pretty in a day or two.
Yeah, a lot of people at the show see them and they're like, oh, those don't seem like they look very well. And they drop color a lot, not quite as much as the greens. Green jays are notorious for like losing all their color, turning the wrong color and such. So the yellows, throw them on some black substrate and they really start to pop. I really goofed when Alex was here. I didn't know that there was a ton of moss in the corner, and when I went to go feed all the neocaradinas, the only really like nice ones that you can see in the ponds besides some of the blues are the yellows, and they're like the showstopper. And I threw the food right into the moss, so he got no pile of yellow neos here. I have not done Alex justice. Before he got here, I apologized. I was like, hey man, I don't want you to think like you didn't get the VIP treatment or something like that. It's just bad timing, holiday, all the shows that we're trying to go to, trying to find a new car. I didn't have time to clean the fronts of all the tanks and go through and do everything I wanted to like we had done for people in the past.
Chris asked, did you keep any of the sunfish?
Yeah, I answered that.
How would you answer that? Kyle said, I'd take rattlesnakes over gators. Nope, absolutely not. I think I would be able to wrestle a gator much easier than a little slithery snake. No thanks.
I think I prefer the gator over the snake just because the snake just nips you. It's a $60,000 anti-venom hospital bill. So, no thank you. I will take the chances with the gator. Fast.
Well, so, fun fact about growing up in Florida. I don't think there's any other state. There might be like Louisiana or something, but when you grow up in Florida schools, they teach you how to run away from gators, and you run in a Z-shaped pattern. And we had to go outside, and during recess time, the teachers would come out and be like, all right, if you had a gator, what would you be doing? And all the kids would just be zigzagging. And I usually trip my friend because, feed them to bait, you're definitely getting away.
You don't have to zigzag. You just have to run faster than everybody else.
Yeah, exactly, Bob. Gators mostly leave you alone. It's pretty rare. The only time I've actually seen them like attack anyone is if you're in the water at nighttime, which you shouldn't be. There's usually signs, especially at some of these famous parks, if you've ever heard that story before. Should not be in water. There's signs posted everywhere. Just not smart. Whether it's gators, sharks, water moccasins, it is just not a time to go in the water. So it's up to you to do the smart Smart thing.
And as long as you don't jump out of the water or jump into the water, smack the top of the water near a bunch of like hungry gators, you won't cause a feeding frenzy, and they won't do much.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain parts of Florida where you don't want to get in the water for sure. But
hello, new local Austin. Kyle said, "Yeah, I try not to step on any critters in general." Feel ya. Last night I had to call it, it was last night when we went collecting. It was getting so dark, and I caught a spider bigger than a tarantula in my net when I scooped into the water, and I'm all by myself, and there's like no easy way to just like get away from it. So you've all heard me scream when I get little things on me, man. I'm surprised they didn't hear me, but I was done. Called it a night. It was too dark for me to defend myself. I have no idea where that spider went.
Yeah, there's a ton of spiders. When we've been collecting, there's some spots where all you get are ghost shrimp and spiders. And then there's some spots where all you get are crawfish and spiders. And then there's some other spots where all you get is this. But the thing that you always get is spiders.
So you can definitely outrun a snake if you happen to see it first.
Yeah.
I screamed all the way home one time because a snake had its mouth open when I was really young. I was only like 9. Had its mouth open, about to bite me. I jumped on my bike and I screamed all the way home. I thought it was chasing me all the way home. Didn't realize I kind of like give up after a little bit.
If it's close quarters combat, I'd rather take my chances with the gator and get out of there.
Yeah. I don't think I can outrun. Honestly, I'm like that white girl in the horror films, because I would panic and I'd try to run real fast and like slip and fall. It would not be good. I don't want to be that person, but I know in a panic situation I might be.
But water moccasins are definitely an issue. Mm-hmm. However, the number one issue with collecting in Florida has got to be the fire ants. My feet, I've gotten several bites on each foot. I know Alex got tore up as well. I think he might have more of an issue with the mosquitoes. They don't really bother me too much. The deer flies definitely get me. They basically bite a whole freaking chunk out of your flesh. So I always do what I can to get those off me as fast as possible.
So they do it in lower Alabama as well, and from water moccasins. That's what you were answering. Sorry. Said I learned that in Oregon, and I don't think that there were any wild gators within 10,000 miles. Really useful information there for you. Kyle said, dude, gator drills sound awesome. I was just going to say that. Just got to be the second slowest. Welcome in, Jerome. Said, yeah, just need a big stick to shove in a gator's mouth. TV taught me that.
I just thought you just bopped it right on the nose.
No, that's sharks.
No. That's a punch to the nose. I'm just talking like, get down, pup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it was actually launching at you, or grabbed you.
Oh, if it's launching, you just catch it by the chin and say, get down.
Yeah. That's what you're going to do. So growing up in the Midwest, we did tornado drills. We did those too.
We did tornado drills. We did hurricane drills. We did the works.
Yeah, that was just a little added on. Alligator nuggets, anyone? If you get some, I would love some. They're really good.
We had a restaurant that had really good gator, and it was right next to an island that had a bunch of monkeys on it. So it was like, hey, anybody visits, we'll take you to this monkey island and get some good seafood. And I don't eat seafood, but I eat gators. So they changed over to a pizzeria, and it's just not that good now. It's not the same thing.
Way said just turned in. Where did Alexander go?
Tuned in.
That's what I said.
I heard turn.
Turn? No, I just said to. Sorry. Alex is not here yet. Where is Alex?
I don't know. He might be getting here
He was
late.
getting food and then heading this way. So I don't know which Wendy's he stopped at. If he was still 30 minutes from us or what. MTS said, I lost the best dog to a snake bite. Oh, probably a water moccasin. Those things are nasty. So sorry. That'd be the worst way.
Yeah, I'm more worried about water moccasins than I am rattlesnakes or gators.
I have.
And then my biggest worry for rattlesnakes was when I was cutting palm trees because they like to go up in the tops of palm trees and suntan.
I have lived in Florida my whole life. Not once have I ever seen a rattlesnake in person in the wild, but I have seen up to 4 water moccasins. And that's from all the way to the Keys and up. Like, never seen rattlesnakes.
I've seen 2 and 2 of each.
No, I've seen a lot of snakes. I've seen a very rare indigo snake, but not a rattlesnake. The indigos are really nice, honestly. And yeah, Frank said, don't have to zigzag, just run faster than the person next to you. I think it's just if you're alone, you have to zigzag because,
And it's really, you don't even have to run that much faster than them because if they got hair, you can use that to give yourself a boost and it slows them down.
Bomb drills in Georgia. Did we ever have
bomb had bomb drills too.
Oh, yeah. Most of them were
you gotta get out of school
actually
and
not.
file a line
Yeah.
away from the premises.
Oh, okay. I always thought those were still fire alarm drills. But
No.
I do recall that we had
that's
several bomb threats in high school. So, yeah, a lot of them. Nana, so yes, as policy, getting in the water in Florida is usually not something I want to do. It's the best, honestly. You would love it. You just gotta disconnect with all the terrible things that people tell you because our children go in the water all the time, no problems. If you were to go out in the swamps of Florida, the Everglades where it's not really tracked, yeah, you should be worried. You should use as much caution. But
You
big
just gotta
rivers,
listen.
yeah.
If there's gators around, they'll make big noises. They
Sound like
make
giant
little calls. If they're gonna get closer, they make these little frog chirps. They get closer and closer. When we were at the boat ramp, I was like, "All right, kids, you just stay on this side." There's definitely a gator off to the left, but not a big problem.
Kyle said, fire ants are an acceptable reason to jump in the water. I had my feet covered while fishing one time. Fastest I've ever jumped in the water.
Yeah, for sure. When we first moved to Florida from Hawaii, we were at a house out on the water. Wasn't any fire ant issues. We moved to another house, and I was playing outside very first day. I must have sat down in a fire ant pile, and then they all decided to bite at the same time. And I had 90 to 100 bites. And the only thing my mom could think to do was run inside, throw the hot tub on, and fill it up and throw me in there. Not hot tub, bathtub.
It's like, what?
Sorry.
Your mom boiled you. Oh, Jerome said, did they have Florida man drills?
So
Just
Alex
crazy
did
people?
not participate in any of the Florida man drills. I took the socks and shoes off, ran through the swamp, showed him it was doable and that it was safe, but
he was a little concerned.
He didn't follow.
A little concerned when we didn't have shoes in the water. That's just normal for us. I used to swim in there was a pond that would fill up with water after the summer, and we just go swimming in that. It was green. I don't know what was in there. It was not good.
All right. Say bye.
Bye. Just kidding. It's the boys' club now.
All right. Look who it is. We got Alexander Williamson. How you doing, man?
Frozen.
What's up, dude? Sorry for the delay. Yeah, it's just rough when you're borrowing a car and then you're driving all over. Wendy's is not cooperative, but I'm here.
Yeah, our Wendy's is rough. We are definitely
Who was there?
under fast food restauranted in our area. We don't have 2 Chick-fil-A's. We should definitely have 2 Chick-fil-A's. When you have 3 lines at your Chick-fil-A and it's constantly wrapped around the building,
Man, yeah.
somebody should open up 2 Chick-fil-A's in our area.
Yeah.
Invest. And it's the same with Wendy's. We have 3 or 4 Wendy's, but it's there's always somebody at our Wendy's, but that's just for our county.
I think there were
just
like
feel
9
there should be-
cars. It was ridiculous.
It's always like that. There was a gator in that parking lot a week ago, 30 minutes after we were there. And I'm like, why couldn't we be part of the gator? Like, I would have helped.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. You know,
Yeah.
that whole walkway along the road there on the right side, if you're headed towards here from Wendy's, it's all flooded right now
Yeah.
under like 6 feet of water or something, like a ton of water right
Yeah.
now in that one section. This guy was trying to walk in it, and you could see he was wet to the waist. Like he must have just miscalculated and stepped into it. It rained pretty hard today for a while.
Yeah, no, it's been problematic for us. Like, I imagine you're not able to sit here because there's 90 10-gallon tanks right here off the left-hand side. I was hoping to get that done for you before you got here, but so I kind of already talked about what we did with Shelby. Of course, we'll go back into it because I know I missed some things. I definitely didn't identify and name all of the fish, but let's talk about this right here. Did I run you through any Florida man drills?
No, you were very kind to me.
I definitely tried to show you the way. I told
Yeah.
them I took the shoes off. I ran through the swamps. I told you it was all right, but
Yeah.
you didn't follow.
No, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I have like literally bites on top of bites, and like from 4 days now of collecting things, like I have a bite every inch, or I mean
They're all
more.
GPS coordinates.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
what they are.
it's like
you just got to
constellations.
rememberize where you got bit, and then you know where you got that fish.
And oh, I was gonna say the other crazy thing is, so some of the fish we caught with Shelby, and then some of the ones we caught. Well, I caught some today too while I was out meeting my wife's friends, and then some of the ones we caught on the other trips we've done. I just found out that they're not what we thought they were. Gambusia wise, there's like 8 species that are in that complex, and if they have like a pattern on the tail versus dots on the body, like they're different subspecies.
Yeah, there's
And I
like
didn't know that.
melanistic and other types and stuff.
Well,
But they're all Gambusia, though, right?
No, well, they're in the same genus, but it's separate, just like a guppy and a gambusia are in the same genus.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, the difference is like one has a dot on the side, you know, which is pretty lame difference for a species. But I guess it's technically different species, because I was looking through the book. But what happened was somebody told me on a picture of one of the flagfish, there's like, that's a swamp killie, and that's a marsh killie, and that's a this killie. And I was like, what? I thought those were all just baby flagfish.
Yeah.
So apparently we had a lot more species than we even thought. So I'll have to go back, and I've got photos, and we'll look at it.
So Lady Diane, how's it going? She said there are so many snowballs in St. Louis today that I froze for about an hour. Geez, you guys. So Shelby is all the one to thank for that. She told me, hey, I hope you don't mind. I really hooked Lady Diane up with a bunch of snowballs. Not a lot of people order them. So when they do get orders and it's from somebody as nice as Lady Diane, I definitely got to hook it up.
Yeah, she is very kind.
She took care of us at the Triple Crown.
Yeah, for sure.
How's it going, Arctic Winds?
Hey. Yeah, you know, those are an interesting one. Do you know if the ones you have are Palmata, Neocaridina palmata, rather than Davy Dyer's Angagensis originally?
So that's why you're here.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're going to talk about that. So most are. And Palmata is, for some reason, like the soft yellows, the really soft jelly bean blues that used to be around.
So the snowballs would be a palmata?
Yeah.
So I saw a chart today that came out, and then they were called Caridina palmata.
Oh,
they're not.
interesting.
They're definitely
That's
Neocaridina.
Neocaridina.
There was a bunch of things on the chart that were mislabeled, but
Okay.
it was like a new chart. It's like, if you're gonna do a chart
Yeah.
and do that much into the artwork and stuff like that, I probably should have saved it and left it for us to talk about. I don't know why I did.
Oh, where'd you find it at?
I don't know. Somebody just posted it, and
somebody posted it.
I just had time to kill today while we were waiting at the dealership.
Well, and there's been some really weird new developments now that they've done the genetic testing, that they're sorting all that stuff out. And
Yeah.
like, it turns out that a lot of lines where people had said 10 years ago, like, oh, this is a shrimp I got in northern Vietnam, and that's what makes it special, and blah, blah, blah. Especially in Caridina. it's like nope, serrata. Like they're the same thing. Whereas in other ones, they're like common lines that they found, and yet like the Indonesian breeders may all have a trace of Cantonensis, like twist or whatever it means. Probably not that cross actually, but Long Manai, for instance. Like yeah. So the DNA is like the proof. It's just so many people have tried to hide, or they didn't want to disclose, or they wanted to throw off other people in the early part of the hobby. They like, instead of sharing info, they just kind of screwed up the genetics for everybody as far as knowing what the real story is.
Right.
Wow, those fish look so good today.
Yeah, no, they look great. And what I really liked was as soon as I turned on the lights, the kids wanted to take the ladder up there and go check out the fish.
That's awesome.
So just forget about the fish.
So I'm not afraid.
Eating bacteria.
I'm not afraid of the flesh-eating bacteria. It's the brain-eating amoebas that I'm concerned about.
Just don't pee in the water.
Well, like
or drink it.
I mean, I was like snorting it. Like I had 2 straws and because I heard that was good for your sinuses. So, like that's you just got to like hold an amethyst in each hand, and then you just you have to put tannins up your nose, and I hear that's really good for you. Yeah.
How's it going, Monster Fish Gal? So,
hey,
Shelby was supposed to come out here, and
where she just gone now? It's
she left us to struggle on her own. I thought she was going to help run chat, but
I might be kind of stinky. That might be my fault. I was
you're good. So you did do some collecting today, though.
Oh yeah, like
you didn't have their net, so you buy another net.
I had a net.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I brought a net home.
Oh, you brought one of the nets?
Yeah, one of the ones that one that I bought.
And the jar, you grabbed that last night. So you left last night at like 1:30 in the morning. So
yeah, 2:30.
2:30. I think you went to leave at 1:30, and then we kept talking. I mentioned that before.
Yeah, we have a problem. Like
if you lived closer, we'd have a lot more.
Yeah,
collaboration.
We probably wouldn't feel like so compelled to just keep chatting and like. But it's definitely that thing where like, and I'm sure I'm doing it now, but like we're not. I'm not trying to be rude, but we're both like interrupting because we have something like we're so excited about like, oh, I know something about that too, and I've got something to share. And
it's a horrible problem I have. I interrupt everybody.
Me
and
too.
A lot of the issue is like a little bit of lag, and then I think there's a break in the pause, and then I start talking, and then it's like, and I did it to Dee Dee on the morning show, and I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry, Dee Dee, you keep going. But this is why I need Shelby. There's like some type of waders or hip huggers or something like that that go up to your waist. And so, for Aquashella last year.
That goes for salmon fish or like fly fish.
Yeah.
Salmon.
For Dallas last year was Halloween, and they're like having a costume contest and stuff like that. Well, we had the waders, and we were going to be shrimpers, like actual go out on a boat in the Gulf and catch shrimp. But I messed up my entire arm so bad that I finally fell asleep at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and Shelby's like, I'm just going to let you sleep in. And then I woke up, and all we had time to do was the shrimp contest that day. So I was like, I didn't have time for the contest or anything like that. The kids still got to dress up and go around and trick or treat. But
I've learned that in the swamp down here, tie-dye is a bad choice. Like as much as I love this holy shirt, literally like it's full of holes, because it's it's probably 17 or 18 years old. Every bug is like, what is that? Every hummingbird is like, and dragonfly, and like everything is like, what's all that color? And there's just so many weird things in the swamp.
And I feel so bad because you're allergic to bees.
I'm allergic to
and I'm over here and I'm all like, dude, I cut grass for like 13 years of my life. So when the lawn is like getting a little high, I'm like, I've cut enough grass. Like you can go check my records. I'm good. You know what I mean? If somebody wants to complain, I'd be like, look, I cut your grass once upon a time, probably, unless you're a new neighbor. So I'm just all like, let the bees enjoy it. Let the butterflies enjoy it. And then you're like, I'm allergic to bees. I'm like, well, don't go out front.
I'm allergic to butterflies.
I'm going to try and hack that down tomorrow.
No, I mean, honestly.
It needs to get done. I woke up Thursday early as could be, and then it ended up raining the entire day. And I'm like, of course, as soon as I get or give time for it.
It's pretty much been overcast to raining within every Like there hasn't been more than 3 hours other than today since I got here, really, that didn't start raining.
It rained on us both times we went collecting. It got us at the very end last night, and then it rained on us like half the day the first day. Just we were under so much cover, and it wasn't heavy rain at all. So it was like quite nice. It kept us very cool the entire day.
Yeah, there's a lot of lightning and thunder too at the end of the first day. Down when we were at the hole, the Eagles deathbed or whatever.
Eagle's nest?
Yeah, that's the one. The eagle that kills everyone.
And yeah, you should have come. I'm not sure what Alex is all doing for the rest of the trip. Are you going to Lucas Brett's tomorrow or?
Probably not. Really,
Probably not.
Really. Although my roommate, one of my best buddies who I've been staying with, he really wants to go to Jenny Springs, like begging me. And if we did that, that's not like too much farther to maybe work that in. So I don't know. We'll find out. But I know you had mentioned kayaking stuff. I don't know where you're at with all the car and all your projects, but so I have no idea yet.
We got all with the cost of cars and everything right now. Yeah. I'm in no rush. They like legit. I was like, da 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 da. This is what I want, and then they're like, well, here's what we have, and it was all like right above what I wanted, and I was like. No, it doesn't really work for me. And I had to ask for my keys like 4 or 5 times just to get out of there. And they
holding you hostage.
They wouldn't take no for an answer. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to buy a car. I'm going to go buy one down the road. And they're like, oh, we own that one too. And I'm like, well, I guess I won't be buying one from there either. So Shelby really wants a Subaru. So I think we're going to go check out the Subaru dealership.
Subarus are nice. My wife has one. I've never owned anything nice. But she's got a nice one. And I've borrowed cars that are nice. So I can vouch for those Subarus. I drove one 9,000 miles in one road trip. We went all over the country for like 4 months. Yeah. Only broke down once, but it was an old Subaru. And we could fix it at Grease Monkey or whatever the name of the little, like Jiffy Lube type place was. And we fixed it like $12.
So the whole talk is about collecting with you. So I figured we'll dive. We'll dive into that. Alex told me he wanted to do a couple things, and I was like, all right, man, I got a couple of lists that we can check off. Your main goal that I figured you wanted to check off was catching Elasoma.
Yeah.
So I have only caught an Elasoma at one spot prior to Alex's arrival. And I was like, well, we can go there. But I was like, man, don't keep your hopes up high because there's so much rain that everything is all spread out very far away. And so we got, I don't know, one Elasoma the first day. Yeah. And it wasn't even a spot where I thought it was going to be. It's the Chaskawiska Wildlife Park. Everywhere down here is a Native American name. And so that's just one of the parks. There's a river also that's where I want to take you to go kayaking if we can go. Yeah. Very easy to get to a nice little spot. And then you can watch me disappear. And then you're like, oh, no, where did he go? You could do like a panic video. So those that didn't watch this video will be like, oh, we lost Grant. But it'll be a lot of fun. And the first spot that we went to is on a road. It's called Three Bridges Road, and there is legit
Why is it called
three small little bridges on this road. And I had caught in one on the very first bridge, but there was so much rain, the whole place was flooded. Black water everywhere on both sides.
I was surprised it was so dark with when it rained, I thought it would lighten up the water. So either that water was darker than Dr. Pepper or to begin with, or it just gets the tannins that quickly. But
then there's weird spots like pockets where the water was completely crystal clear and just a little bit of leaf litter. But those were the ones filled with bugs, and there was no fish in them.
Yeah, and that was the side of the road in one spot, and then the other the other one was by the second hole. What's that hole called that we hiked
So
into?
the second spot we went to Buford Springs. It's like
Buford
a 10 to
Springs.
15 minute little hike.
Yeah.
But there is like a little walkway that turns into like a boardwalk that goes all the way out to the spring.
Yeah.
And there is water on both sides, and that's where you caught your first Williamson.
Yeah, and when I caught it, it was literally in crystal clear water with like some grass and then some like underwater like vegetation.
It was in the Laguidia Repens, right?
It was right where the grass and the Ludwigia like meet.
Right.
And then there were like lots of little least killifish, and it was kind of like I could tell it was one because it was keeping them all out of its like little circle. And so I was kind of just standing there watching it for a moment, and I was like, I gotta go for it, and I got it. And when we first caught it, it was like an incredible blue, like a metallic, like I mean, I don't know. So I'm trying to find something in frame that's that color, but there isn't anything that blue.
Maybe,
maybe. And then
I'm trying to think of like,
and then like very quickly it turned pretty much clear, like grayish clear.
oh, it lost all of its color like right away. It was from starry night to those blue little spots in the net,
Yeah.
and then it was like fading as fast as it possibly could because it wanted to blend in like it wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, and then when we put it in the tank though, like within 15 minutes it turned like jet black and started like trying to attract its little female buddy, and I don't think she really cared. Like the male was.
I think she's more worried about the other fish in the
Yeah.
tank, and she's like, "Am I safe? Am I not?" And he's like the typical male, like, "Hey, let's get into it."
Yeah. Hurry up.
So
I'm ready. What's wrong with you?
But I think I know your answer. What was the coolest part about the first spot, though?
The coolest spot or the coolest part?
Yeah.
I
What was
mean-
your favorite part about the first spot?
You know,
Because you went on about it, and you're like, I know, but where I come from.
boy, there's a lot of things that are that way, but I mean, it was the amount of life that's everywhere, the lizards and like little critters.
You got to pick one, just one.
Lizards were.
The lizards.
I don't know.
I thought it was the school of 1,000 least killies fish.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. That.
Out of all the
sorry.
other spots, out of the very first spot, that has to be it.
Yeah.
Right?
It definitely was. Yeah.
Because like legit, there is pockets of schools, and mind you, there was quite a decent amount of. By the way, so many people left the chat just because you left and you're gone.
No.
Yes, it's been said.
You're almost like the same.
All right. So
Are you joining us?
No.
Oh no. I don't like you.
No, it would be too much if I'm interrupting.
well, there's an awful lot going on already.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Shelby's known for.
I thought she would
interrupting.
just sit in the chair right here and then orchestrate and make sure that we
Just
bring up all the pictures.
the clipboard.
Shelby wasn't with us the very first day.
No, and
Right.
can I sit like this? Am I being offensive?
No. However you want to sit. If you need another pillow, I can put it one
No,
behind
I
your
just-
back so
I
you're
just-
closer out. Whatever.
Because of my
you got
back,
going
this
on.
just feels good.
You're good, man.
My wife can't sit like crisscross style, and I don't know why. Like her hip just doesn't do it, and me like that's the only comfortable position. I fall asleep with my legs that way. But yeah, no. When we got to that spot, I was like, I have maybe 10 at home or something, and they kind of breed, and then I'll put a couple in like a small like 2-gallon tank, and they're happy in there. They're doing whatever. But they're like $8, and then shipping it and whatever it costs you to order them from wherever. And we like literally one net, and each of us in some cases could get around probably 70, like realistically 70 to 100.
Yeah.
If you went right in the dense
I would
spots.
say at one point we had 300 in the net.
Yeah.
I have the golden least killies, right? Did Shelby show you those?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's so cool.
I got those at the Triple Crown, so we haven't had them too long. But like the whole day, I was looking for them. I was like, I want to find them in the wild. I think that'd be so cool. But
Hey, look, Dee Dee's on point. She's always on point.
yeah,
you know.
she's.
Thank
got
you,
us.
Dee Dee. Yeah, I mean that's so cool. And I was thinking about like $8, $16, $32. I was like, there's millions of dollars of least killies here. But like, seriously though, if they were everywhere, nobody would want them probably. Hey, by the way, the flagfish, the male and the female right now, they're showing their courtship. But the flagfish, they hold the record for the least eggs of any fish, in that they only hold 15 to 20 eggs, the females, for their entire life, apparently. I had no idea about that, but I just read it. It
So
might
they'll
might be
give
false. I
15
didn't really fact check
eggs
it.
or
but,
babies per female.
like their whole life,
Ever?
they'll breed like once, and it'll be like 10 to 15 babies, and that's all she makes like inside of her.
How long do they
cellular.
live for? Do you know?
They can live like 5 or 6 years is the weird part. But apparently like the amount of eggs that a female has in her reproductive clutch, just like a woman's ovary has like hundreds or thousands of cells potentially, but they don't all get used or whatever. Like apparently they just have very, very few, and the males eat the babies frequently too. So it's like, how does that species survive in little puddles?
There's thousands of them. Too, because I got a buddy that lives in Homosassa, and he's got like a pond right next to the side of his house, and he uses it to grow out peacock cichlids. But every time he catches all of his peacock cichlids at the end of the year, he catches like 1,000 to 3,000 flagfish.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that this year, before the winter, when he has to go clean out the pond, that I can go help him and I can keep all the flagfish. I'm going to throw them all out in the pool.
Yeah, I mean, and people want those too. I mean, like they sell in Seattle.
He says he doesn't have like a good market for them or anything like
Probably
that.
not like the hottest.
I'm not trying to sell 1,000 of them at a time, and I think that's
Yeah.
what he's into.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I could see, especially if they were like $5, I think they'd be an awesome fish. You know what I mean? Like, I think then they'd be a lot more desirable. But in Seattle, they're like $11, $12, and I'm like, they're not that cool.
Right.
But they are when you catch them, and you've seen where they're from and all that stuff.
So, thank you, Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
The memberships definitely go to helping us out. Shelby is one step closer to stepping down from her job altogether.
Woo!
So, any memberships go to supporting that. Also, you get a free sticker and a 10% off code to our website at tgoeshrimp.com. Thank you, Crypt Keeper. Always appreciate your help out in the streams. And then Craig said, I got 20 new blue dreams this morning. Very nice. And then thank you, Dee. Oh, that's my TikTok. I thought you were sharing Shelby's TikTok. That's the better one. She's more hip and into it. She's like 2 years younger than I am. So she's still like in with the cool trends and stuff like that. So her TikTok is much better than mine.
Yeah. I've been using the pictures and stuff more for like Tinder, like I've been really trying to get my Tinder social media going better. So I don't know.
So Lady Diane says she's going to corner the market on snowballs.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Good luck. Yeah. The Caridina species hold the pigment so much, like, more granularly, if that makes sense. Like, it's like painting with watercolors versus, like pen and pencil. Oh, nice. So we got
Who let
lots
her
of those.
in? I didn't let her on.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. She must be the moderator. She must be the like host. She has the power.
She just took over. But what I can do.
Remember how the fish were swimming around and now they're gone?
I don't want that one.
It's because Shelby's a big mean.
Brent.
I'm so sorry. This is what I get. Taking us down. So these are all the fish. Could you hear us through your mic? No.
What's
All
happening?
Right. Back to talking about the least killies fish, since
Yes.
nobody heard that. They were the first ones to kind of like go belly up. I'm not sure if it was the heat in the water or lack of oxygen or what it was.
The bluefin killies had a hard time too. Or was it just that one?
I think they were second.
Okay.
I want to say least killies fish first and then the bluefins. But like it was almost like they were playing dead. As soon as you put some fresh water in, or you take a dead what you thought was dead and you threw it back into the water, it perked off and swam away like nothing was ever wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And
yes, that's Boost, Didi. We got a large order of it in. We will be using it for the Aquascape contest in Chicago, and then afterwards we'll be selling it on the website.
I feel like you'd need to be Shaq to like gather all that up and like hold it and just like put a ball. It's like a basketball of boost up there.
Yeah, it is some really nice portions.
I like how we can kind of be seen on her video. I wonder if you just like leave it still, if they'll come to it or something. I don't know.
They're all over here.
They're all
in the
hiding
corner.
behind the filter in the corner or at the top.
Yeah.
They're like in opposite spots. When you were like, I'm getting a tank ready, because I joked, I was like, you better have my tank ready when I get into town. And he's like, oh yeah, I've got something we'll set up. I've only got one though. And then I get here and he's got a like pristine 55 that's ready for anything that we find. I was like, I meant like a 5-gallon like sponge filter, but I mean, you guys overdo everything here in a wonderful way. So
Yeah. No, well, also that's just what we had room for, you know.
sure,
So
yeah.
Shelby said no more tanks on the counter. I can respect that. There's enough tanks on the counter.
I mean, it would be pretty interesting to do like just from your county, like a native fish biotope and to like load it with some random fish.
We have I don't know, have you seen or heard anything about the Wikiwachi Springs where they have the mermaids and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they have like a reptile room where they have like tanks and aquariums or something like that somewhere on the premises.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's lacking. And I would just love to set it up as like a natural biotope with just like 100 least fin killies and bluefin killies swimming around, because a lot of people. All right, so me personally, I grew up going to that park as like a little kid. I would not go so much up and down the slides. I would spend a lot of my time in the guppy grass catching fish.
Mm-hmm.
But almost everything I caught as a kid was gambusia. I almost never saw or noticed.
Your kids seem to mostly get those too.
My nets were also bigger.
Yeah.
I wasn't using the thin mesh net. So I wasn't catching any of the bluefins or the least killies or anything cool like that. All I was catching were the larger gambusia. Maybe every now and then I'd get a molly or a fat body one or something like that. But like what I was really after was the shrimp. And because they were pregnant, they were in the nets. They're easier to catch.
Yeah.
Every now and then you'd go through the weeds and you'd get a bunch of plants.
Yeah.
That would, mat up. And then you'd end up catching some of the smaller fish and stuff like that. But it was always like, oh, this one's cool. What makes it cool? I just didn't have those answers. Nobody as a kid was there. But I think if something like that was nearby, like some kids would be able to learn more.
Well, and
just by figuring out, like, I don't know.
I mean, not to mention, like, we know they're cool, but like when we catch them, they don't have the color. And when you're standing above the water, an inch long fish or 2 inch long fish, you can't see the subtleties. But like when you're actually looking at them in a glass, like a jar, they're going to be stressed. So when they're in a big tank or biotope and they've relaxed again and colored up, like it's really incredible to see like what is in, the native fish, especially down here, are incredible.
Yeah, no. And so the funniest thing is I got a buddy who lives on one of the preserves, and I was like, dude, you won't realize like some of the fish that are in your backyard are worth like $25 and they're no bigger than this overseas, like in some of these other situations. But what's up, Brian? How's it going, man? Nice of you to join us tonight. I will see you on Wednesday night stream. And then it's nice to see you streaming, Kyle, on Wednesday nights. You go quite some time before us. Brian said, hello, Shelby. I wish I would have come down there. Jenny is awesome, but much better places in Florida. We didn't go to.
We didn't
Did you
go
talk
there.
about Jenny?
No, I
Springs?
just said my roommate wants to go float
Oh,
and see.
okay.
I don't know why I keep calling him my roommate.
I can't
He's my
multitask,
wife's
so
roommate.
you were talking, and I was like, all right, he's got that covered. I'm going to go into chat and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, let's just not say hi to Steven.
I was going to say, what's up, man? But he probably didn't stick along long. We're a full Rico behind in chat. So he's like,
okay.
He's not going to.
You're 8 Ricos
still
behind. I like that that's a unit of measurement of delay now.
I think an hour behind is a whole Grant and Shelby behind.
Oh, wow.
I think
And then
that's
it's
proper.
kind of like you're an Alex late when you're like 15 minutes to 20 minutes late.
So I've actually dove Jenny Springs, and I've swam the entire length of the campgrounds without rafts, snorkel, or anything. So
yeah,
it is really awesome, man. I actually have like a memory as a kid when I first saw my very first Dempsey fly larva. I had no clue what it was. It was so small, green, and like chaotic that I was like, this thing's like a baby Loch Ness monster. I have no idea what it was. Nobody believed me when I described it. I like drew it too. And they're like, no. I'm like, it's much smaller, but like this is what size I have to like draw it at so you can see. So
it's like a Pokemon.
Oh man, that thing was gnarly. And then later on in life I figured out what it was, and then I was like, oh my god, and Shelby's like, what? And I'm like, I figured out what it was.
Did you tell him about the nightmare fuel that we caught or you caught?
Oh, there's some pretty large water bugs that we were getting, and we caught like 3 of them all together at different spots.
Oh
but,
man, one of them, they were like beetles, and they had like
nice
mandibles or pinchers that were like, no joke, half an inch to an inch, somewhere in there long, and the whole beetle was maybe 2 or 3 inches long, like, and they were chomping just like crushing machines or something. And he's like, you're a tiny bug. What are you doing? Like, you're that confident? It just terrified me.
What's a good website? I'm not sure a good website. However, find somebody in the club that will be able to provide one of the collecting reference books, because they don't sell them anymore. I'm sure somebody in the club will let you borrow it though.
Yeah, there's
it is a fabulous tool of information that I'm kicking myself so bad for not buying it when I had the chance.
There's another Florida fish guidebook too. But the other thing that's actually really nice is like Florida, if you you can go to the Fish and Game or Fish and Wildlife website and it'll have some resources. But like I've gone to some little parks just in the city. I was just in Safety Harbor and Palm Harbor today, or Tarpon Springs too. And at the trailheads, they have like infographics, and like they'll say like, watch out for invasives, or like like let's protect the natives, and then it has like a list of like 15 pictures or something of what's at that particular park. But I haven't found like an info sheet. I wish they'd just like take all that info and like make one giant thing of it, because some of the info is really useful.
Is it near the Soma?
So it's ELA. Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
ELASSOMA, which means small body, basically, or of lesser body is what the Greek/Latin.
How tall are you, Alex? Because it looks like you're way taller than me because of the way you're sitting.
I'm shorter than you, probably, like by an inch, maybe. I don't know. I'm 5'11" or so.
I'm 6'2". So
okay, yeah.
I just choose to be comfortable, and Alex, there's not enough room.
If
for us
like
to
this?
both sit like this.
Yeah.
Our knees.
And I'm a slouch too, and I'm still taller.
Our knees are just. Oh, I'm super slouched. If you look at my neck, it is messed up.
Yeah, like when I stand, I'm usually 5'10", but I used to be almost 6'1" when I was like 22, and then I broke my back once, and then I broke my back again, and now I'm under 6 foot. So
the one species that I didn't talk about is because we had three spots on our very first trip that we went collecting at the Chascowiska Wildlife Park. And then on the way out, you're like, wait, do we got time for one more? I'm like, we made it to where I needed to go. We're definitely not going to get lost on the way out. We can stop right here and make it, and I'll just drive a little bit faster, and I'll be able to get the kids from the bus stop. And we ended up catching 4 least banded killies.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the least banded killies, and then we got another molly there.
Yeah.
And what was the actual sunfish too? Remember that we didn't bring home because they were too big. They were going to eat the other fish.
No, I thought we brought him home.
No, the one that I put in the tub, I threw back because or it could have been a bluegill, but it was like yay big, and it was going to eat.
There was like a prettier sunfish. Remember that was like smaller though.
It had like red and
that
blue.
One too.
Yeah,
it was like heavy yellow. I thought like an orange yellow.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Because there was one we got that had like a dark purpley blue on the belly, and then it was purpley blue, and then like a metallic green together. That's what the one I was thinking of. I think that was a bluegill baby. The bluegill babies and pumpkin seed fish babies, actually, they're really, really beautiful. As they get older, they can some like ready. Oh, there we go. So there is one of the little flagfish. Now there's another fish.
Like rabbit colors, eh?
Yeah, and then there's and I have footage of all of this. So like, if you guys want to see these beautiful spots we're talking about, I'll definitely be making like videos out of each collecting day probably, and doing the highlights into like a 10 or 15 minute.
You definitely got a ton of film because you kept grabbing the film, and I was like, let me get this net, and then I'd run away.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I'd be like 6 islands into the swamp, and you're like, I see an elasoma, and I'm like, yeah, and the net would only go halfway, and I'm like, all right, let me just skip across real quick, and then I throw it again, and then finally get it to
Frogger, watching you do that.
Yeah.
Is that the game? Yeah, that's the game.
I don't know. Those islands, like, they were meant to be walked on barefoot because everything else is like usually like super hard to walk on.
Yeah.
But all those islands are like just like
moss.
tufts of grass that you could walk on. And then there was like nice spots for roots if you wanted to like stick your foot on the root to like launch off onto the next pad. So
yeah, see,
it ended up working really well.
You're more.
I didn't find anything cool though.
You're more of like a monkey than me because I would try to jump and I would just like break like with all my back problems and stuff. Like
I was willing to re-break my ankle for you going out there because like that was definitely the most I've gone since the ankle has been taken out.
Yeah, I mean, you were pretty spry. I was impressed. You moved like a younger man. About your friend?
No. They were definitely brought in like the hurricanes and stuff like that will get heavy flood water and stuff. So they came in through the marshes, and his pond on the side of the house is like kind of blocked off, and then on the other side is all like swamp and marsh. So I'm sure with heavy rains, or they just like jumped in from a fish's mouth or something like that.
The eggs. I was reading a study about crappie, white and black crappie, bluegills, pumpkin seed fish, and basically all the sunfish, like warmouths, all of them. They have eggs that can be digested by both like Canada or Canadian geese, as we call them down here. And by the way, on the screen, you guys, you can see the male and the female, the difference between with the dot on the side and the one that doesn't. And you can see they're kind of they kind of do a little show and tell. The one that was just on the far left has more color. It's actually a really cool like waffle red pattern when you look carefully, but from afar it kind of just looks brown or gray. But up close, flagfish have like every color you can imagine.
What's up, John Oliver? How's it going, man? Yes, it is both of us here tonight. I am lucky enough that we are in charge of finding speakers for our aquatic club of Pasco County. And I'm also very lucky that they want a bunch of my friends to be the speakers at the club. So it paid for a trip for Alex to come out and see us. And he also was able to spend a couple more days because our club covers travel expenses, 2 nights hotel. Did you get your money and card, by the way?
Yes, that was so nice. Yeah,
Okay, I'm just making sure you got it because it went around, and then I somehow got it in the middle, and then I'm like, here, and they're like, nope, already got it. And I'm like, here, I went all directions, and then I'm like, where does this go? So like I had to walk around the room to find out like how I somehow got it in the middle with no return.
It was like, I mean, it was completely covered, but I mean, you guys were such a kind and like welcoming club. Like I can't thank you guys enough for that. And I mean, I've seen a lot of clubs and things, and it's easy to say that a club is nice, but you guys are also like pretty professional about like, you know, the way you guys are like cover the airfare, you booked it, and then you send an email and like, here, you're staying here. If you want to change or upgrade anything, like you can do that on your own. But
were you able to upgrade to a direct flight home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I used some of my own air miles, but it worked out. Like
awesome.
It worked out. So I have a direct flight. Yeah. The thing is, I couldn't tell them, like, it messed up the like package deal. If I had the actual person who helped me on the phone told me, they're like, if we change this now, they're gonna like unbook your hotel and everything because it was a package, you know, like Priceline. And so they're like, so just don't say anything, and then don't show up for this flight, but show up for this flight. And I was like, that's real sketchy. And they're like, yeah, but otherwise you'll have to pay the penalty fee at the hotel each night and then whatever. This way, like, just pay it over the phone right now. And they're like, it's $99, or you can use air credits. And I was like, sold. Like, I will do that, because that day had no direct flights that was originally scheduled. And I think I gave you guys the dates, and you guys just booked the dates that I said. And because of that one weird day had no direct flights. So I actually moved it back a day from way back when we were planning.
Right.
And it ended up.
So you're supposed to leave on Thursday, now you're leaving Wednesday instead?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And so, it just ended up being weird, because the layover, though, was going to be a 2-hour flight to Cincinnati, which is actually in Kentucky, their airport. And then it was going to be a 5.5-hour wait at that airport, and then a 5.5-hour flight home from that airport.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, oh man, that brings me flashbacks back to when I was a kid. I flew from when I was 12 years old from Florida to Hawaii, and I had a 4-hour layover in Arizona. And all I really had to keep me occupied was an iPod Shuffle and a Game Boy. And I'd already used those up for however many long for the trip already. And my parents gave me like $100 to spend like at the airport to buy myself food. That's pretty
sweet, though.
And we don't have like Cinnabons or anything like that. Yeah. I ate so much Cinnabons that I no longer like cinnamon like flavored. Like, I'll eat it. Don't get me wrong. I got a sweet tooth. I got a problem for sure. But I'd rather have a blackberry pie than an apple pie all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's up, Nate? Nice to see you joining us today.
What's up?
He said he got the Tangerine Tigers mixed in with the Blue Dreams. That is a great combination. But then, Alex, are you going to be at Fishtoberfest? I know the answer to this.
Yeah, I'm speaking there. Yep.
And sadly, Fishtoberfest, Aquashella Chicago, Cataclysm, and Reefapalooza are all on the exact same weekend.
I know, and then AGA is the weekend before.
Yes, and then the week before that is
and
the
we're
Keystone
both going to go to that too, right?
Yeah,
we'll both be in Chicago as well.
So it's so weird. Did you message them back on that, Shelby? By the way, for AGA, we booked like a package deal that gives us a table and 2 registration tickets and something else like that. And then they emailed me and was like, "Do you want your table?" And I'm like,
"What?"
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Did you message them back, or is that okay?
Yeah. I doubt there's like a waiting line, honestly, at that event. It's more of a specialist event, like the Clash and like Aquashell and things like that. Those are kind of more open public events, whereas AGA, when I've gone, has tended to be like professors and people naming plants. And there's some people like us from YouTube and from just like the hardcore hobbyist community, but there do tend to be a lot of people like flying in from Germany who are like a specialist in one plant and they just want to see their friends for the one
Right.
time every 2 years or whatever too. Like that's how I got to meet Crystal Castleman and Karen Randall. I know Karen's going to be there this year, and I know George Farmer. Talked to him; he's going to be there.
Mhm.
Which I've never met him in person, so I'm excited to meet him in person.
So I'm lucky enough. I've had several encounters with George. Jaden did like his very first aquascape contest, and George was one of the judges.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, "Hey George, do you mind like helping out my son for like 2 minutes and critiquing him and teaching him how to like make his tank better next
Yeah.
time?" The dude spent like 30 minutes
Oh,
talking
wow.
to Jaden. And I was like, "Oh man, this is
Yeah, I mean, he's
Awesome.
always been extremely generous too. In like that, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to buy your book, but could you sign a copy to whoever wins my aquascape contest that I do every year on my channel?" And he was like, "You know what? Like, since you bought my book, like, I'm going to send you another copy for free. I'm going to sign your book and the other book, but the other book's on me and shipping's on me." And like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's just been a really nice guy and very professional about stuff too.
And yes, that was a Mata turtle. We picked it up not last weekend, but the weekend before at Repticon. It has been a bucket list turtle of ours for a very long time. And there's a little bluefin Achilles came right directly in the middle of the camera for us.
His red tail's gone for now.
Who do we got coming out now?
Yeah, what's this?
Oh, what's it? What is it? What's your
Dun,
money on?
dun, dun, dun. It kind of looks like a marsh Achilles, like a
I'm
bandit or something.
going to say the top fin, the top minnow, golden top minnow.
It might be.
We'll find out.
They should be at the top. They don't seem to be at the top. They like to hang out by that sponge filter.
There is two at the very top.
Yeah.
Oh, it disappeared. We'll never know.
They're
Those
so
are the
sparkly,
Elisoma, though. Oh, there is one of the top
Yeah.
minnows, and then
And
right
then that
behind
one's
it
a
is
mystery
the Elisoma.
in this dead center. That one's the mystery, right?
I think it's Elisoma because it is the female, basically right next to the male earlier.
Oh, am I looking at my perspective's off on what size that fish is? Oh yeah, there comes another. Those speckled. Oops, sorry, I'm like spitting. Those speckled, those top minnows. They're so pretty. The golden top minnows.
And how's it going, Max? Nice of you to join us tonight.
And I also want to say, if you guys are one of my viewers, sorry that I haven't posted anything in a week other than some shorts, but I've literally been up at like 8 or 9 a.m. all but one day. And that day I was up all night and then slept like, I don't know, 10 hours.
You've been steady mining content, though, here in Florida,
literally.
not just out in the wild, but at my house. Did you get any footage of you at the
Event?
or
No.
anything?
I was
So I did
just
take a
setting up.
picture. I did take a picture of you. So I can send you that.
That
if
was
want.
I feel so bad about that. Like, and somebody said you should come to Tampa. I saw in the comments, hey, if the Tampa club wants to bring me back another time, I will come to Florida every freaking week if you guys want me to get down here. If for an excuse to come to Florida, I will give a talk. I will give different talks. You invite me, if possible, as much as you want.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would
Especially Tampa.
I would think a different talk would help out.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that we're going to be able to make. Are we going to the Tampa Bay Club this meeting? Awesome.
And
I'm
I
so
have
excited.
I have like 9 talks that are theoretically prepared.
Yeah.
So like
You're telling me this, and then you're like, just pick one, and I'm like, I need you to just pick your best one for me.
And then
been so massively busy for us lately.
And then like because I've given the talk quite a few times now, I try to tailor it. So like when I was talking about the ancient fish keeping or like where it started, I wanted to talk about your specific county and the natives here, the Tocobaga. And so I went and looked up all the archaeological papers I could find on them, and then about the pre-Clovis people here and like the way they fish. And it turns out that they were like known for a lot of keeping of like fish pens and working with them, and also like cast netting and stuff like that. And so I actually deleted my old presentation, like the difference, and then put all these new pictures in, and then I didn't put them on the flash drive. And so we had this like breakdown problem where my flash drive like just didn't.
It wasn't even
connect.
that big of an issue because he went on like there was nothing ever going on, and Lucas Bretz even turned around and he's like, I couldn't do that if all my slides went out. So you went on like nothing even happened. You are a walking encyclopedia, and it went on as if nothing. I was gonna say without a hitch, but like obviously
That was
something.
the hitch.
Yeah, but
I just felt so bad. I was like, I literally stayed up later to get that extra stuff in there, and then. Like I go down to the hotel and they're like, we don't have a computer that works. And then I put it on the flash drive in FAT32 and then that computer is like, it's like no Mac formats. And then he just didn't have any RAM either. So it was in my Dropbox. It was in my Google Drive and we just couldn't. So what we ended up doing was so janky. It's kind of funny that it kind of worked for a while.
Yeah.
But we took a webcam on basically like one of those very inexpensive
cheap laptops,
like a cheap laptop, yeah, like an entry level laptop that's super lightweight kind of thing. It was like an HP, and the camera was fine, but it was like delayed because the processor was so slow. My entire presentation was only 16.8 megabytes, like zipped as like a PowerPoint or whatever, and it couldn't open it in the 20 minutes prior. Like it couldn't even open that, and so. We then switched and actually looked at my phone with a webcam, and then we couldn't get the angle right. So I put like a box up and like a tub for like, I don't even know what those are for, raffle tickets or something.
Yeah.
And then we like had it all sideways, but then everything kept going to sleep because the computer was on set to go to sleep every 3 minutes. So I'd have to jiggle the mouse trackpad, which was down by the projector on the floor. And then my phone, I would have to change the slides manually with my finger. So I felt like a DJ, just like doing that. And then when it all just like stopped working towards the end, I was like, no, I've let them down. And so I just, for a minute, I kind of froze. And then I was like, well, and then I didn't even realize like, I had an outline with notes and dates and like what I was going to talk about. And then also I wanted to know the time. And I realized that like it was halfway through the speech, I realized I didn't know the time and I didn't have my notes. And I was like, well, I guess this is working fine. Like as far as
I was about to go da 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 da. And then you're like, and the last one. And I was like, I'm not going to cut them off before the last one. So Crypt Keeper asked Grant if someone wanted to go collecting in Florida, are there any waterways or areas in the state particular you would send someone to? It's been on his bucket list for a while. Kind of like Alex, I was like, what are you after?
Yeah.
And then he was like, I want peacock bass. And I was like, dude, you got to go 3 hours south. I want peacock bass too. But I'm saving that for when we go down to South Florida. There's a Aqua Expo down there in Coral Springs. And I'll try and take the ride and reel out and get those. But if you want the invasive species, you definitely got to go further south.
I found them today.
Yeah, for sure. It only literally takes like 30 minutes to an hour. You got baby or rice fish eggs?
The babies. There's like 20 babies.
Oh, cool.
So they must have been in the tank already before we put the rice fish in there last night. Nice. So Shelby just found some daisy rice fish babies.
Oh, daisy
Those are all
rice
mine, by the way. You saw the face. Oh, it was a joke. Oh man,
Grant has a lot of jokes.
I gotta keep you entertained, man. I told you were gonna get hospitality. I mastered in it.
I think it's like it's hostility, like like passive aggressive, husband and wife. Like I know you guys love each other. But it's like a sitcom or something, you know.
You know Queen, you know, and you find somebody to love you, just so you can love fight in the end. And I found my somebody.
There you go. Yeah.
Where is she? Can't find her.
Yeah. What'd you do with that girl?
How's it going, Richard Reynolds? I said Richard like I merged your last and first name together. Missed you at the meeting. I saw a van with a canoe on top, and I was like, Richard's here. And then you weren't there.
You know, I kind of got well, part of it is that honestly, I didn't want to get sick. and there were a lot of people there, and I knew if I said hi to everybody, like I did try to say hi to anybody I saw waiting for about 15 minutes, and before I was setting up, and a few people came up to me, and I was like, oh good, I got to talk to them. But I missed some people that I really wanted to say hi to also. But I literally, and this is like really flattering, and I was like really humbled by it, but I had like 18 messages on Facebook or Instagram, and I just didn't have time to check them all and like figure out who's who and like know who I was looking for. And so when you get into town and you're supposed to give a presentation and you're jet lagged and like all that, it's just kind of like,
he's like, I got no issue with jet lag. And I was like, give it time. 3
Yeah.
days in. And he's like, dude, I don't know what happened. I slept in until like 11. I was like, that's because 11 is like 6, 7 o'clock your time. And jet lag finally hit you. But
yeah. Because I just stayed up like the first night.
Right.
Like, so that I thought I beat it that way, but it was a lie.
But I only have one job for the club. I'm in charge of getting the speakers to the club. And when I get a message and it says, you did a good job, I did my job. At the club, I mean, if we just bring in cichlid breeders or this kind of breeder every single time, it's going to be the same old, and people aren't going to come for that. They're going to show up an hour late and just come for the auction. Because you could see how people could just show up like that and just come for the auction.
Yeah.
There was 477 bags.
Yeah, you guys had some of the best like lots up at the auction of any club I've ever seen, like by far.
So
the quality down here is superb.
Did you see my mystery snail collection of eggs up there?
Yes.
I pulled out another 3 clutches of eggs today. I feel like a chicken coop farmer because I'm pulling eggs every single day.
Oh man, I found an apple snail today.
Yeah.
That was more like a grapefruit snail, and it had eggs on a boat ramp.
You should have brought me the eggs.
I filmed, dude. There were so many eggs. You could have these for years. I mean, they're not mystery snails; they're apple snails.
I need them.
Okay.
They, for whatever reason, they devour claudiphora.
Oh.
And I want to say, like, some of the areas around Florida that don't have a lot of the claudiphora issue, they have a lot more snails. And that's why I was, like, insistent on not taking any of the snails from those areas or any live ones.
Yeah.
Is because I more care about the wildlife than I do my house.
Yeah, sure.
But if I can get some eggs that are possibly going to be eaten by other wildlife anyways,
dude,
then that increases my...
wait, I can show you right now. Just to make...
My soul and happiness about taking something from the wild.
I also saw a baby deer today too, which was cute.
Oh yeah.
Let me show.
Those were full grown here in Florida. That's not even a baby.
It's time to hunt. Yeah.
Everything's smaller for mammals down here.
Yeah, we were talking about bears, and he's like, yeah, they're like 300 pounds, and my other friend was like, you better be careful back there in those woods, you guys, because there's some bears that are like 300 pounds, and I was like, I don't even think there's a bear that's like that small as an adult in Washington. Like the black bears are like 500 pounds, and the grizzlies are like 800 plus. But
this was definitely not his first time collecting fish from the wild, because like for the last 2-3 weeks, most of your stream has been collecting.
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So was it your first time in Florida collecting them?
No,
because he's been here before.
But I didn't have the right gear. Like I literally had a kid's net from like CVS, like one of those that comes with like the buckets that make sandcastles. That's what I had 5 years ago when I came down here. And I went to the Florida Aquaculture Center, and I also had a fishing rod, and I had crayfish traps. But all of those just did not work for what we're doing. Like we've got it dialed in now. Like now I know. And this is all kind of a test run for like Peru, because I'm supposed to go down and see Dr. Anthony and his wife when they're down there. And
we should all plan it together.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be our speaker for December.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something me and Shelby want to do for sure.
Very cool. Yeah. I mean, and I have a lot of health issues, and this is kind of my first big trip since like my big spine surgery, and then also like all this autoimmune stuff. And so it was kind of like this heat and humidity and going out and the bugs and all that. Florida's kind of like Peru light, so it's kind of like a test run. Like I got to get good at dealing with everything, because like I would die a week in the Amazon like without AC.
Yeah,
like I would die.
I got to get in shape for sure.
Yeah, I got to get.
I
in shape,
forgot
too.
Shelby's been going around and showing fish. I've been so
Oh,
involved
yeah.
with just us two
I
and the
know.
chat. Are we going on to your live stream now?
Oh, sure, we can. Yeah, I haven't posted anything, but let's take a 10-minute intermission. Yeah, I'd like to do that because I haven't done my live stream. And
Do you want to do yours
Wait.
at 11, and we can kind of try and catch up on chat
Yeah,
right here?
yeah.
And then we'll end here at 10:50. Take a 10-minute break,
Yeah.
and then we'll come back onto Alex's channel.
Yeah, that sounds
I'm gonna
good.
try and catch up the chat. But what was your favorite fish you ever caught in the wild?
Ever?
Yeah.
One of my favorite fish is still a salmon. Like a salmon, when you fight a salmon that's really strong and it's out in the salt water, that fish pound for pound, is pretty incredible. And I really enjoy those. I know that people like bass fishing and everything, but salmon are just you're tired, your muscles,
Yeah.
like a big salmon will tire you
Have you
out.
been grouper fishing?
Yes, same. Yeah, exactly. It's like comparing those two things.
But
they're
Have
just
you been
different.
trawling though?
No, I have not been.
Trawling is the worst. I swore I was reeling in a big old marlin.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like a 15-inch rainbow fish. My favorite fish I ever caught in the wild was actually in Colorado, barehanded. I caught a small trout.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And I actually got a picture of it, and I was like, "What is this fish? It has color. I need to figure out what it is." So I believe it was a really small brook trout or something like that.
Yeah. That's something I do periodically, all my life, is try to catch fish in primitive ways, quote unquote, like with a spear or with a cup.
I would like
or-
to do build the traps out of rocks.
Yeah.
And then scare the fish in, and then set the trap, and then use
Yeah.
a net after that to catch them out.
Totally.
I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
In a video that I put up of me collecting in Washington, I went on a river and I basically put the rocks in a way so that it was a V. And so the river running into it, all these little fish went into it for I let them just hang out for 6 hours. They went into that, and it's plenty oxygenated, so they weren't going to die and cook in there or anything. And the water then filters through the bottom of a sandbar. And then you've got at the back, all these fish. So you can scare them, one person alone, into the bottom of the V and then just net them at the very end. And they'll literally jump out of the water sometimes.
I would also like a super tiny seine net.
What's that big fish in there?
And so those are emperor dudgeons.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, is it going to eat them? Is this a problem? What's happening?
Yeah. And it's actually gotten way bigger than when we first got them. They're getting some size to them. One of the females looks like it's full of eggs, but the other one doesn't look like it's ever gonna flare up again. It flared up one time.
I literally took a picture for you. I'll show this to the camera too. Wait. But it's me pointing to mystery snail eggs or apple snail eggs.
Yeah.
But the I don't know what you call it, clutch of them, not a wad. I got wads of snail eggs. I thought I got a good shot of them, super close. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's all in my head, and it was maybe it's just all my imagination. That's weird.
But I had some issues with claudiphora in my hot tub, and the only thing that I did differently was add apple snails into that pond, and all of the claudiphora disappeared.
Oh, wow.
And I know apple snails devour plants, but the anacris in that system is able to just thrive and keep going, no problem.
So this is when we first caught and you guys, you see these on my channel too, but in video. But that's what the bluefin killies look like when you first catch them. They're just gorgeous, but then they just look like a silver fish, when they're stressed,
Right.
with the black line. So it's kind of weird. You don't always know what you have when you see 50 fish. You're like, oh, they're all these killies, but there could be some weird little some little baby fry of something in there. I kind of wanted to. I was telling Grant, I was like, let's just take 100 or like 500 and just throw them all in that tank. Like, let's just go there, catch them all, throw them in, and see what we have. And then I kind of realized, well, then he has to figure out what to do with them because he can't release them. So what's he going to do with 500 least killifish?
Honestly, I'll breed them and then start selling them on the website. I'm not too against it.
They breed.
I don't think the wildlife park is going to miss 100 least killifish.
No, they would.
500.
Man,
or
you could
1,000.
probably kill like 1 million of them. I mean, that sounds bad, but I'm sure that many die just from they go into all these puddles and then
and first of all, the ones you catch mostly are gravid females, and if they're all popping out on a conveyor belt, one baby every single day,
oh man,
yeah, they're replenishing stock quite fast.
Well, that's what amazed me was that they have a whole school, and there are babies, but for the most part, it's mostly adults or almost adults.
I was also catching the smallest baby least killies, and I've never like caught baby ones. I've always been like, where are they? You know what I mean? I'm not, but like I think I also caught them in the pool net too.
Oh, okay.
I've never like managed to catch babies, and I caught a bunch of them all together. So I don't know if those ones just pocket in school in different areas or get spooked differently. I can't remember where I was. It was when we went to the boat ramp. Second one, and I went over first into one of the little spots. I caught a bunch of babies. I was like, I've never had that happen before. I've never caught them that small.
You had a lot of lucky,
and that small shrimp. I've never caught one of the ghost shrimp. Like that must have been the smallest ghost shrimp possible when they come out of the larva stage.
Yeah, there were so many of those shrimp at the boat launch we went to with Shelby that day. Man, yeah. What's that?
He's late to the party, but yes, we'll definitely be bringing it back over to Alex's channel.
I should hold on. I should post something so that people can see that. I need a picture real quick of us. So, all right. It's probably a bad picture because my teeth are all janky.
There is no other plants in that pond other than the anacris. So I'm sure they're eating it. The anacris is just growing faster than it. But the fact that the claudiphora is gone, I mean, just amazes me because I got rid of all the guppy grass in that pond originally because it just was flooded with claudiphora. So, and then thank you, Zen Ginger. Appreciate it.
Hey Zen.
Also, we've got to make sure that like tomorrow night, it's going to be way too late tonight, but tomorrow night we'll make sure that we can get you into the bedroom because if you come all the way to Florida from Washington and you don't even get to see 40 of the tanks, you're going to be like, oh man, I didn't see those shrimp.
Yeah, that would be rough.
And I also think that tomorrow night I'll be able to go through again, feed everything, and you can kind of like spot because, like, dude, you've missed out on some of the shrimp for sure. Because I got some of my hollow eye crosses and some of the crazy orange eye crosses and stuff like that I know you'd really like to see.
You're gonna make people think we're swingers if you keep inviting people to our bedroom. Gotta get you in that bedroom.
Oh, he's allergic to dogs.
Yeah.
So we've been putting the dogs in there.
I thought that was going to be one of your insults. And he was going to be like, man, that's too far.
But
yeah, no, yeah.
The dog beds are in there and everything like that.
I am super allergic to dogs. It's really unfortunate because there's not really an animal other than spiders and scorpions on me that I don't like. Well, and hornets too. They can all die actually.
I saw what you did when you saw that spider in my net.
Oh, I made an audible scream. I've literally never done that. He's like, hey, dude, get a look at what I've got. And it was this and we've been catching spiders all day, like both of us in our net. Good sized spiders, creepy spiders, spindly spiders, fuzzy spiders, whatever. But I don't know what it was about it. It had like gold lines down each limb and in the center, and it just looked like some sort of nightmare fuel.
It was just beefy.
It's like a golden
big.
orb.
Like some of the spiders are real skinny and long. This one was like beefy. It looked like he could carry a squirrel on his back.
Right. Yeah. And man, I just wasn't expecting it, and I'd also been stepping on fire ants like all day, and just getting 1 or 2 bites, and then being able to not actually get nailed by the whole nest. And so I was being really careful because that area there were some ants. So I was thinking about the fire ants already, and thinking like I got to keep my feet moving. And then I see that, and it was like in my head, like, you've been attacked by ants, and you're being attacked by spiders, logically. And it was just like, I actually screamed like a little girl. It was really bizarre. It was like a high-pitched scream. But
So, and then you missed it today. I forgot what we were doing inside the house, but Shelby had to go back outside to go grab something. So she turned really quickly to beeline for the door, and boom, right into the 55-gallon tank stand.
Oh.
And then she just goes, "Who put that there?" It was probably the funniest thing that happened all day today. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm laughing so hard. I've got to put this on the stream and tell everybody about it. It was a good one. But you can definitely see how things have come along. And like I always tell everybody that if you don't come like every other week or so, every time you come to the house, there'll be something different here. I've got a buddy that has like 30 to 40 tanks himself, and he hasn't been to the house in, well, I mean, I don't think since COVID hit.
Oh.
And he's always like, man, I got to see everything. And I'm like, just wait. I'm building another thing.
There
is
always like,
no
way you could see everything. Like, Grant keeps being like, we got to get out a video of everything. I'm like, I don't think you could even list all the different variants and tanks.
I thought it would
in
be
20 minutes. I think it would take too long to, like, if you gave like their Latin name and even like their water parameters, that would take up more than the
but
time.
I think we should do a fast tour where like you knock
5
on the
times
door
speed.
and then I open up the door and you're like, all right, we got 5 minutes. Show me the tour. And it's a challenge video.
We could do that. Totally.
And you gotta like, come on. You know what I mean? You're running through the house, and then like it's like 3 minutes into the video, and I've showed you every room, and I'm like, but wait, there's more. We gotta go outside. Come on.
But wait.
And we gotta run around. So
Actually, we should maybe do that tomorrow.
hey, I'm about it, man. I thought about a couple ideas. I'm like, oh man, why didn't we do this? But I starved the shrimp for like a good 3 days, and then fed everything for him to see last night. And then I'm trying to like show him stuff, and he's like asking me all these questions, and I'm going way off into right field because they're good questions,
but we're both too nerdy.
Yeah. And what about snakes and gators? We brought this up a little bit earlier. I'm not really too worried about the gators. I am always searching for snakes. I try to make a bunch of ruckus as I possibly can. It's not really a good thing when you're trying to catch fish, but when I'm trying to scare the snakes away, I like to do it.
I did literally hit a gator today with my net. I'll show you the picture.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a baby. It was fine, but I literally went like this with my net into shallow water, like maybe 6 inches deep, and I hear, and it just like turns around and made this little squeak, but it was probably like a foot long baby, and I was just like, oh no, is mom here? So I like literally backtracked. It was like looking around, but it worked out.
And fire ants are definitely the worst. I would say out of everything, they keep me up at night, not because I'm scared of them or anything like that. It's because once one of them bites you, you itch for like the next 3 days.
Yeah, well, not to mention they'll all get all over you, and then like they give a chemical signal,
or like,
now. Yeah, exactly. It's awful.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Yeah, and Xanadu.
I don't know why the picture
we got a bunch of people all for the 5-minute tour video.
Okay. 5 minutes is impossible. It's gonna be a 10-minute tour because 5 is impossible. I don't even think we could go all the place if you count outside. That is.
Mickey's looking forward to Alex doing vids of every single shrimp and fish.
Yeah,
each one needs a name.
Yeah,
not just scientific and common name, but like personality.
A Christian
Frank,
name.
Fredalina.
Fredalina. It just rolls off the tongue.
It really does.
Yeah. All right. I'm creating our stream, and instead of the picture of Grant and I, for some reason it won't upload. So we'll see in a minute if I'm creating a stream. I've been having technical difficulties, in life lately.
It's been a trend. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Last week or last Wednesday, our stream was all over the place. We had a thunderstorm kick us off.
Yeah.
It's been wild.
So for some reason,
Would you like another Dr. Pepper, by the way?
I will, but not on camera. I don't want people to think I'm a lush
A what?
alcoholic.
Dr. Holic. But I bought an entire case, and we don't drink soda, so you have to kill it before.
I
You don't
still
have
can.
to.
I still can. I could
don't.
probably kill it tonight. I shouldn't, but I could. It's a thing that it's a. Out of all the things in the universe, it's a possibility. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out why this. My camera started just saying it's taking pictures in HEC format, which is I don't know what that is. So I don't know what I did to my. But we'll have to figure that out in our little intermission. So maybe we should take that little intermission and be back in about 11.
If you want to jump off now, I've just got some stuff I like to say before we sign off.
So thanks for having me too. So
you can jump off. I'll take Shelby back.
Shelby, get over here.
Well, go wash your hands, Shelby.
Get out of here. I've still got the little bug sacks on me.
Bug sacks, huh?
Yeah, we'll talk more about bug sacks later.
Oh man.
Me in their bedroom and the bug sacks.
And then, I'd never seen a spit bug before. And, one of the very first things at the very first spots that we stopped at, we stopped on the side of the road at a little bog. And I found, weird, bubbles on a little piece of grass sticking up. And I'm like, I have no idea what this is. We're going to have to figure this out. And Alex is just like, oh, spit bugs. I'm like, all right.
They're just common up north.
You know more than me. My backyard.
Learn your state. There's only 40,000 species here.
Yeah, it's definitely been a learning experience. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know as much fish knowledge as I should. However, I am jam-packed full of the shrimp knowledge. We did a talk for the Minnesota Club. That was a lot of fun. Very, very beneficial for us. Got a lot of good feedback. A couple of other clubs invited us to come up and do talks. I'll be going to Missouri sometime next year. And we'll be bringing the family along with us because they said flight or gas. So whenever that is an option, we always try to drive up, make it a little family outing. The kids had a great time yesterday. They have little competition between the two of them. Who can catch the most fish? Who can catch the biggest fish? But I think now it's kind of who can catch the craziest fish or the rarest. And that is definitely something that catches on with them, especially the Pokemon cards. Oh, this one's a rare. It's a holographic. The flag fish were kind of like the holographics. And then the only other thing I got to say is Jaden's room has been clearing out. I've got plenty of green jade coals. I've got plenty of ghost spees, ghost rillies, yellow King Kongs out the wazoo. So if anybody's looking for some shrimp, those are on the website. They are still on sale. I believe the Stardust as well. And the only thing that's not on there are the Tangerine Tigers. They're not on sale anymore. They're still available, however. So, Hippie, if you are watching, let me know when you're ready for those. I am holding those down for you at the sale price because you asked. And it's your birthday. So I saw Grant that mystery fish might be a fundulus Achilles fish. That would be neat.
There's hundreds of those.
Yeah. I'm almost
That's
a
all
heart.
genus.
Yeah. That's what my fundulus and the whole.
I think it could be fundulus rivulus though.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I'm down about is we didn't catch any shiners. And then I told him
a rod and reel or a big river.
Or the other thing is I told him if we would have gone to the river, if we go tomorrow, I can go through the jungle vow and catch a bunch of hog chokers and bull tomcats and a lot of crayfish and stuff like that. So I just take the pool net and I just go through the jungle vow and I shift And when I pop up, dude, you've got all different kinds of things that you never would have thought were there. So
Crip said, just read earlier today that there is an invasive / non-native freshwater shrimp here in New York. Forget the name of it, but would be cool to find.
yeah, I don't know. I know there's like a giant freshwater prawn shrimp, and I've heard of a buddy catching them on the other coast, and then people further down south, but I've never seen any in our streams. So, yep, that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Alex, so much for stopping by and for coming and doing the talk. We've got one last question here. You going to read it?
Swamp people are my favorite people. Be safe out there. Looking forward to the catch videos.
So we don't have any footage. I kind of took the time to cater to whatever Alex needed.
Yeah.
So that way he can get all the footage and content for his channel. We live out here, so I'm all like, I can get this whenever I need to. So
It was kind of.
And then, how's it going, Rob? And then have a good night, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you all Wednesday, 10 p.m. with Brian. Have a good night, everyone. Later.
Night.